We can see there are no requests pending at this time. If a customer or stakeholder requested an updated response, we would find their name here. This list of all completed responses is in chronological order. We can update the company response and create a new record in the system at any time. We can also proactively share the most current response with any stakeholder. Here we see the list of customers the response has been shared with so far. In the summary section, we find the date at which the response was frozen after being marked complete, as well as the name and contact information of the company. The name and contact information can be updated on the profile page, accessible through settings. The highlight tiles show answers to key questions at a glance. An orange tile indicates a positive answer, while a gray tile indicates a negative answer. We can see here that the company has a formalized ESG strategy and is tracking environmental metrics, but does not report them publicly, though the company has also communicated environmental targets. As the company created an improvement plan through TSP, we see here the environmental category the plan is targeting. In this case, most of the improvements are expected to be around energy and GHG emissions. Finally, we see here the rolled-up score for the mandatory ESG course section of the questionnaire. Let's dive into the details. There is a somewhat even distribution of scores between 0 and 100. Thus, the company's score at 69% is roughly in the top 50%. Benchmarking is based on 867 responses that were available at the time this response was completed, November 2, 2023. For each question, we can see the company answer, as well as comments made to support the answer, including links to publicly available documents or documents uploaded to the TSP platform directly. For yes/no questions, we can also find the aggregated anonymized percentage of peers answering affirmatively. That might be one of the most interesting metrics to present to your own executives in order to prioritize environmental and social initiatives. Here we see that 95% of respondents have an employee code of conduct in place. So if your company doesn't have one, that might be a high priority to get it done. Passing the data metrics section, we stop on the GHG emissions target section. As we can see, 21% of respondents have a science-based target, 16% a net zero target, and 63% another kind of target. That could be very interesting to dive down into what framework is used to generate those other targets, maybe by reaching out to peers during SSCA roundtable discussions. Here, the company responded to an optional industry-specific environmental practices assessment. Furthermore, the company created an improvement plan by selecting specific practices to work on within the coming year. As with the mandatory ESG course section, we have aggregated anonymized comparisons with peers. Contrary to the ESG course section where fixed points are allocated by questions, scoring on industry-specific environmental practices is done based on the company answer, the intrinsic value of practice, and the overall implementation rate amongst peers. Thus, a practice with a high return on investment that is also implemented by most peers will have a very high opportunity score. This is a valuable tool you can use to prioritize initiatives internally. In case you recently joined the company and might not be familiar with some of these environmental practices, or why they were selected to be included in the company improvement plan, you can learn more about the specific practices in the knowledge sharing part of the website. Each tile represents a major operational activity or asset category for a specific industry, construction in our case. Under each tile, we see environmental practices associated with the operational activity or asset category, together with their respective intrinsic value. Clicking through a specific practice, we can read details about the practice and its implementation. Implementing this practice will improve energy and GHG emissions as shown here. The content of the TSP website is available under a Creative Commons license. This means you can copy, edit, and redistribute the content as you see fit as long as there is a mention of where you originally found it. We can like the practice, follow it to be notified when updates are made to the page, comment on how to improve the content, or start a discussion with other users interested in learning about the practice. We can also access all the practices directly from the homepage under the Learn section. Back to the response page. We can save it as a PDF or download the response as an Excel spreadsheet for our own purposes. That concludes this tutorial on accessing and interpreting an ESG environmental practices response. Thank you for watching.